Imagine this world is a high school. At this school, popularity is power, and no one is more powerful than Regina George. She's the baddest, richest, and hottest girl in school. She runs everything. The halls, the lunch tables, the student council, the fashion trends. But most importantly, it was like she runs the currency game. In the story, Regina George is the metaphor for the United States, and her lunch money, that's the US dollar. The year is 1944. The whole student body was exhausted from the chaos of the last big school fight, or as we call, the World War II. They needed someone stable to look up to, someone whose lunch money they could trust. So they all gathered at a giant international sleepover called the Bretton Woods Summit. At that summit, everyone agreed, let's just use Regina's lunch money, the US dollar, as the base for everything. Why? Because she was rich, she was stable, and she had a massive closet full of gold reserves. At that time, most major currencies were tied to gold, and the US dollar was no exception. Plus, her dad's army, massive. And that agreement, it became known as the Bretton Woods Agreement. From that moment on, every trade in global high, whether it was snacks, gadgets, or school supplies, was priced in Regina dollars. Even if you weren't trading directly with Regina, you still had to use her money. As Regina's influence grew, she formed a legendary clique called the Plastics, known in real life as the G7 nations. That's the exclusive club of rich, developed countries that back up the US on almost everything. Basically, all the popular kids with giant lockers and strong economies. This clique controlled everything, like especially the student council, aka SWIFT, is like the school's group chat for money. It tells lockers who's sending what to whom and when. If your name's not in the chat, you can't trade. Simple as that. And guess what? Regina runs that chat. So if she doesn't like you, she just blocks you. No more messages, no more money. That's how she punishes anyone who breaks her rules, just like putting someone on a blacklist. Let's say a student like Iran or Russia talks back or breaks the school's rules. Regina doesn't need to throw hands. She just tells the student council, block them from the group chat. Guys, suddenly that student can't buy snacks, pay for supplies, or trade with anyone else, even if the deal had nothing to do with Regina. That's called a sanction, and it's how Regina turns the money system itself into a weapon, not with fists, but with financial exile. Then came the drama of the 1970s. Regina had been overspending on clothes, parties, and a bunch of school fights overseas. Some students started asking, hey, can we swap these Regina dollars back for gold like we agreed? Yeah, and Regina, aka the US, was like, no, that's not happening anymore. Gold is so last season, like in real life, this was 1971, when President Nixon ended the gold standard. So the students were shook. Yeah, wait, we're just trusting you now? And Regina just flipped her hair and said, yup, trust me, I'm still hot. But Regina didn't just sit pretty, and she made her next move. She started flirting with this rich, powerful guy who had the one thing everyone needed. Oil, that boy, the Saudi royals, and she whispered in his ear, only sell your oil in Regina dollars and I'll keep you safe, like forever. This was the start of the US-Saudi petrodollar deal signed in the 1970s. But not everyone was buying it. Some students started to see through the game, the control, the gatekeeping, the fake smiles, or they were done with Regina's rules, and they wanted out. Introducing the BRICS Club. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. These guys, they've had enough of the U.S. Regina, enough of her shady rules, her weaponized student council, and all the policies that only seem to benefit her and her clique. Some of them were punished, sanctioned, or shut out just because they didn't bow to her. So maybe they're not just trying to survive Regina, like they're plotting revenge. And what's one of the best way to get revenge? Destroying the Regina dollar system, like slowly, strategically, from the inside out. So here's where it gets juicy. Lately, this girl, Cady, aka China, has been low-key flirting with this guy. That Regina's boyfriend, the Saudi Arabia guy, the one with military power and council influence selling his oil. And rumor has it, I saw they were going out after school. Is Aaron keeping his options open? Does Regina even know about this? So he's still showing up with Regina, but he's been sneaking off to meet with Cady. Secret chats, quiet deals. The rumors are driving Regina absolutely nuts. And while all this drama's happening in the hallways, BRICS isn't just sitting around. They're fighting back with real moves. They're trading with each other in their own currencies, skipping Regina's dollar entirely. They're talking about launching a BRICS coin, like their own school currency. They're building their own money group chat to replace Regina's SWIFT, like so she can't just block them anymore. And they're bringing more countries into their squad, like they're starting their own plastics, but with way more snacks and way less drama. One trade at a time, they're weakening the grip of the dollar queen bee. Okay, so let's sum up what we are talking about. The US dollar became powerful because of trust, gold backing until 1971, and oil deals and global institutions like SWIFT, IMF, and World Bank, all dominated by the US and its allies. Using the dollar isn't always a choice, it's a system. Like in school, you don't have to wear pink on Wednesdays, but you're excluded if you don't. The BRICS and Global South are sick of this and slowly creating parallel systems. It's like starting a new cafeteria. Now, everyone at school, including Yugi, can see it. If BRICS can survive without Regina's dollar, it'll change everything. If Cady actually wins over Aaron, the muscle behind the system, the plastics might fall apart. But don't count Regina out just yet. If she plays it smart, with digital dollars, new alliances, or a rebrand, she might just stay queen. Because at the end of the day, she still has her burn book. And if she feels cornered, she might use it to freeze your money, crush your economy, or even start a war in someone else's cafeteria. Because in the currency game, being pretty isn't enough. You need people to believe in you. Sure, the school might get a new currency, a new queen bee, maybe even a whole new plastic screw, but at the end of the day, does it really change anything for the rest of us? Because whether it's Regina's dollar or Cady's BRICS coin, most students are still just trying to get through the day. But here's the thing. Change doesn't start with the queens at the top. It starts when we learn the rules of the game and choose to stop playing by them. In a world where money is power, understanding the game is the only way to win it. If you learn from this video more than in school, subscribe, because money only works for you when you understand how it works.